everybody. Sam, we're really, really glad you're on here this evening. I was going to introduce myself and then let David introduce himself to you because I don't think you all met before. I've been friends with Sam for some time. He's a really good guy. So I'm glad he's able to be here. I'm Ashley Hill. I'm from Kentucky. And I'm with the Newsom Paranormal group that's from the state. And got David here from Texas.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm David Hope, member of the P3. I own the Dark Hope Paranormal Facebook group, admin in Paranormal Junkies UK, and lead investigator for G Crib, Lubbock, Texas chapter. And it's great to have you, buddy.
Thank you. I'm Sam, and I don't have a team. I do this all on my own, and hopefully one day I can get a little small team together around here locally and start to venture out and do more things.
I think that's really cool that you do it by yourself and everything. Because I think sometimes I've heard a lot of people that are even in groups will go on, ghost hunts by themselves also.
Oh, yeah.
For the experience and for different things. I know David goes sometimes out by himself, and
yeah,
you do go with other groups sometimes though too, don't you, Sam? I know you've met up with people before and stuff.
Yeah, I'm a self-funded channel. I don't have any way of doing any kind of like anything to gather money in to take me on these trips. So everything I do is self-funded. So it may take me some time to get the money together. And I've got another YouTube group that I film with or actually several that I film out in North Carolina sometimes. And I'm looking at trying to get together with a group, in other states, pretty close by as well.
That's cool. I mean, I think that's good. And I know I'm trying to schedule a lot of things I want to go on this year too. And some of them with Newsom Paranormal Group, and then some of them, in addition to that. I think David's been trying to get him some new trips together too. Have you got anything lined up lately, David, that I don't even know about?
Just things that I need to follow up on, but I don't have nothing planned at the moment.
Yeah. The biggest thing we got planned, I know Newsom Paranormal Group is going to go to Octagon Hall, which I'm really looking forward to in April. So we got that coming up, and then there's just some homes in this area that I've been invited to hunt and investigate, and some of those places that aren't very famous though you can get a lot of activity at.
Yeah. Oh heck yeah, those are my favorite.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to that as well and seeing what's out there. As far as I know, you were hoping to get to go to Octagon Hall sometime too, weren't you, Sam?
Yeah. I noticed back before, I think it was like early fall, I was trying to get a small group together to go this past January, but the weather it's just not been favorable. So I'm thinking probably like maybe spring or summertime or something like that when I would really like to get a chance to go.
Yeah, the weather makes it really hard to travel very far. But I will say Octagon Hall, from what everybody said, the people that own it are very, very good to paranormal groups, and it's reasonably priced compared to a lot of places.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
You won't be disappointed either.
Yeah, and they say that there's activity from the time you get there to pretty much when you leave, or most people that have gone have had nonstop thing. I mean, they've even seen apparitions and furniture movement, noises in the basement, just everything in the world, I reckon.
Yeah. The thing I like about that place is too, it's big enough that you can get a group of 8 to 10 people together and y'all can break off because you've got access to the whole entire grounds, the cemetery, all the outbuildings, the main hall. So, I mean, you're not going to be there on top of each other, contaminating each other's evidence,
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
you could take turns. You could have 3 or 4 people in the hall itself and hit different places, and then let somebody else take their turn, and you know, you can go off to another place.
Yeah.
You know what you're saying? That's a great point. You know, a lot of people like to get a bunch together. You know, well, you got all that energy, but
Yeah,
you know, I prefer teams that, like you're saying, 3 or 4. You know,
yeah,
keep it small.
exactly. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can get a group of 10 together. I mean, it will cut your cost down some if that's what you're worried about, but you could split off. The place is big enough. It's got there. I think there are several different outhouses that you could go to. There's the cemetery that you can go to, and you're not on top of each other, contaminating your evidence. You know,
Yeah.
Exactly. Work smarter, not harder.
exactly.
I know that's a good point. I know one of the things I had told when I was talking to Raymond, over the group, I was telling him that if he wanted me to, I could bring my drone to take to Octagon Hall to cover like the grounds, to try to get some video of the grounds at night, because I
Yeah,
thought that would be cool to see if it picked up and confirmed anything somebody saw maybe from a window, or you know what I mean, like to kind of
yeah,
have another perspective of it. And I don't know
Hmm.
that we're going to do it at Octagon Hall, but he was saying, yeah, that'd be really neat, and he thought it would be a good way to maybe do an investigation of a cemetery in particular, because you were talking about the cemetery there,
yeah.
and not cover that cemetery area to see if it picked up anything. Um, I've got a camera on it right now. It's not the best. I'm hoping to upgrade some equipment too, and get a lot of new equipment over the next year. It's something else that's a goal of mine, is trying to get some stuff of my own, to investigate with.
Yeah.
Um, what else? I know you've got equipment, don't you, Sam, of your own? Like, what's your go-to thing that you've got right now?
Um, I have got 2 cameras. One of them is a 2K night vision camera. It films. I can film day or night. I usually used it as a static cam, and then I've got a 4K video camera that it's also got night vision on it as well. I've got several added IR lights that I could add onto it. I've got the external mics on them. I've got the K2s, the what we call the cat balls, REM pods.
Right.
Then I've got several different spirit box apps. I've got one person that's got an extra SB7 that he's going to send me as well. So that's going to be another
That'd be great.
added. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good. Well, you've got quite a bit. You've got more than I knew you had. You were collecting on it and had you some stuff, but you got more than I realized you had.
Yeah.
So, which one do you think is your favorite out of all that? Like, what do you seem to get the most from, or the most evidence on?
Well, actually, it really depends, because if you set a static camera up somewhere where it's not going to be bothered by anything, I can pick up quite a few orbs and sounds and EVPs off of it just as well as I can my main camera that I carry around with me.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. What were you showing there, David? I was trying to see it real quick. I couldn't see what you were showing.
Looked like the
Yes,
SB7.
yes,
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. I couldn't see her. I
right
didn't
by
have
my
glasses
side.
on. I've got my glasses on my head, but I didn't have them on. I was like, what's he showing? But no, but yeah, I can see what you're saying. And it probably varies from hunt, investigation to investigation on what evidence you pick up in that area. I mean, I
Yeah.
think that would probably be depending on the spirits that were there, or what
Yeah.
was there, maybe.
I mean, I've had the static cam set up in a location and it not pick up nothing, not an orb, not an EVP, but it's there, just in case you're there. You could set it up and come back to it 30 minutes to an hour later, rechange the batteries and let it be on its own, and plus it
Right.
adds to your videos as well. I mean, you could be filming and then take a little break and then go to a static cam shot where you've got orbs coming around or an EVP maybe, and then you can go back to the main video.
Well, that brings me to that's a good question to kind of segue to there. What's your feelings on orbs, Sam? I know everybody's got different feelings about them and different things they say about them. But...
I've done research on them, and it's got a lot to do with your lighting. Because like some people will take a video camera that's got a regular light on it in the dark, and it's something that you can see close to the camera. I don't really, I mean, it could be a dust particle, it could be an orb, but the best way to do it is in the dark, because your orbs are not going to shine with the IR light, right? You know, it's going to, that IR light illuminates the darkness, right? Whatever's in the darkness, it would illuminate.
That's a great point.
Plus, your orbs, you're going to catch further away from, like if you are running a regular light, you're going to catch that orb that's in a distance. It's not going to be right up there close to the camera where the light, you know, because a light will shine off of a particle of dust, and people are like, "Oh, that was an orb." Well, no, not necessarily. You know, I've done a little bit of research, and it will tell you what your orbs are, what your mists are, the color of orbs,
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
I do think there's some validity to orbs. I think they're a lot less common than what people seem to think that they are. The
Yeah.
true orbs, and I think just like demons, you know, people talk about. I think that's rare. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
not saying they're out there,
Right.
but I think it's rare. You know, if that's what you're going to be running into on a hunt. But yeah, but how many? I know you've been doing this a long time, Sam. But how long have you been doing this?
Going on 2.5 years.
Okay. I was thinking it was even longer. I knew you've been doing it a long time. I couldn't
Yeah.
remember, you know, how long. Was there a group or kind of what got you into it, the interest in it?
Really, to be honest, Omar Gosh, I watched a lot of his videos back in the day, right? And that basically got me interested in wanting to go out to find answers, you know, of my own. Because when I was little, I've seen shadow figures, I've seen mists, I've seen apparitions. As a matter of fact, right outside my back door, right here, at dusk, probably about 3 years ago, I just flipping and, you know, scrolling through Facebook, you know, just checking stuff out, and then something caught my eye, and I happened to look up, and I saw a apparition of a woman in like a
Wow.
long white Victorian style nightgown with long dark hair come out from behind a tree and just faded out.
And that was at your home or
That
behind
was
your
at my
home?
home. Yes.
Wow.
It intrigued me so much that I got up out of my chair and walked back to the back part of the property to see what it was, and it was nothing there.
Have you ever seen that again since or anything like that since there?
Brushy Mountain,
Okay.
State Penitentiary here in Tennessee. I seen dark shadow figures in that place as well. A place here that's 5 minutes from the road. It's an old World War II cemetery. It was an all black cemetery, and I saw a mist rise from the ground. And there's a story behind that mist. There used to be a guard that used to guard that cemetery, and I don't know if he was killed there at the cemetery or he happened to pass away. But anyway, there was a story of that guard. You will see him as a mist in that cemetery.
Still on duty. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's pretty wild.
Well, let me ask you this, Sam. What kind of protection do you use when you go out investigating?
I've got several necklaces that I wear. I've got several bracelets that I wear. I've got crystals that I will. That's in a little, like a potato sack type satchel that I stick in my pocket. I will always say a prayer before I leave to go on an investigation.
I like that.
Yeah. Do you have any kind of safety net as far as like telling? Is there somebody that you always tell them where you're going and what time you'll be back and that kind of thing, or do you do anything like that?
Well, actually, I live on my own, so really, there are several people that I will probably tell, you know, outside of my, you know, living area, of where I'm going to be that night, and you know, pretty much that's as far as I. Plus, I've got two old friends of mine that I carry on my hip. That
Well, that's actually smart nowadays. That's what I was joking with somebody a while back about. One of the scariest parts, I think, of some of the ghost hunts, depending on where you're going, is, you know, the people on meth or the criminals that you might run into, or the actual the living people, or what I kind of sometimes fear more than the ghosts.
Exactly. Well, you bring that up. This place that I called Voodoo Cemetery, they still do rituals and stuff out there, you know, at night.
Is that in Tennessee?
Yeah, that's right. It's 5 minutes from the house.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a witch that's buried there. She used to be some part of some kind of magical order of something or other, and she's buried on the outer skirts part of the cemetery with an iron stake there. And they will go out there, they will do ceremonies, rituals, leave money offerings there at her grave.
Do you think sometimes, I mean, because I know some people that do practice things, and some really good people, some of the people that practice different things.
Right.
Do you think sometimes because there's a lot of people, some people don't understand what different people practice or believe or do, that sometimes things that we might do in investigating the paranormal might seem disrespectful when we're not trying to be, or like, do you worry about that and like going and investigating like the cemetery where somebody is that they look up to and that they're going and having these ceremonies around? Or do you ever, I mean, I always just wonder myself, I'm asking myself, because like it could even be like around here we have a lot of there's a lot of family cemeteries, and there's some ghost stories about some of these family cemeteries, and there's some of them I'd love to go investigate, but I'm hesitant how to approach the family about it because I don't want them to think I'm being disrespectful. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, like I said, this place was World War II, so some of the families are probably going to be either knocking on their grave or already gone. Plus, when I go, I'm always respectful to the spirits. I always let them know I'm not here to, harm you in any way. I just want to find out answers. And if you want to tell me something about your story, I'm here to listen. I have several devices that you can talk into that I can hear you at a later date. And,
yeah, I knew you would be, and I know, and that's one of the reasons I was just having a discussion with you, because I know you would be going about it a respectful way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, I was wondering about like the people that say do those voodoo rituals at that. You said it was called the Voodoo Cemetery or something near you. I was wondering if they would get upset, like their group or whatever, if you were there doing if they came and you were there doing investigation. Like, do you think they'd be okay with it? I mean, I just wondered.
Well, to be honest, the voodoo that she practiced was a healing type voodoo. There wasn't nothing malicious about what she practiced. And I don't think if I was to come across somebody out there, I don't think I would stay around long. Just because of the fact that I don't know these people and what they're trying to do.
Right.
Because you got people, it doesn't matter if she practiced a voodoo healing type magic or not. These people are out there, at night, doing, sometimes after midnight, and you don't know what they're capable of doing. You don't know what they're trying to, actually trying to raise or call, or, so if there's people out there, I'm not going to mess around them to begin with.
Right.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you one bit.
Be safe, not stupid.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah.
What was the most interesting thing that's happened on your investigations, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, there again, I'm going back to Voodoo Cemetery. I done a 30-minute alone challenge there, which I'm alone anywhere I go, but it was a 30-minute alone challenge that somebody challenged me to do, 30 minutes alone. I had a set of red eyes follow me through that cemetery.
Oh gosh. Were they like staying at the same distance as you moved?
No, it followed me through the cemetery where I was standing at the witch's gravesite. There used to be, you could look across there's like a roadway there, and you could look across. It used to be a deep pond, which is not there no longer. Well, I saw those red eyes, which would probably be at my height, but you add another 5 foot, which would have probably been a 10-foot. If it was up on me, probably 10 foot tall.
Oh, wow.
And as I moved through the cemetery, it followed me throughout the whole entire cemetery. I never turned my back on it. It didn't scare me. I wasn't scared. I wasn't frightened. Didn't want to run, but I never turned my eyes on it.
Yeah.
I kept my eyes on it the whole time I was there until my 30 minutes was done.
Were you able to catch that on anything, like any pictures or?
Yeah, there's one lady, she does cryptids. She was able to sit in a dark area, and she could just barely make out those red eyes that followed me through the cemetery.
Right.
And in her theory, like I said, she does cryptids. To her, the only thing that would show red eyes like that is what they call dog man.
That you actually were leading up to the very next thing I was going to ask you is if you thought it was something like from like ghost type of entity, or if you thought it might be something a cryptid, or dog man, mothman. I know some people see that, or even Bigfoots, but I don't think Bigfoots have technically, they don't mention red eyes. It's usually more like dog man.
Yeah.
But and dog man, I think most of the stories about dog man, he does follow people.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. Do
Lines
you know if anybody else that's been to that site investigating has seen the red eyes? I'd be curious, wouldn't you?
I brought a couple with me as well, and as far as I know, I'm the only one that has seen the red eyes there. Now, I was marked during the daytime there with underneath, I had a red mark like I had been hung.
Oh, wow. Was
That's
there a
neat.
hanging there or anything? Or do you know what the history of, would there been something like that happen there?
Well, while we was there where they do the ceremonies, there's a burn spot, like where they do their little fires and whatnot. There was a pillow out there, also a red nylon rope, like an inch diameter red nylon rope.
Oh, wow.
That was out there laying beside one of the trees.
Yeah, I'm a believer that when you feel something like that or have something like that happen, there's something to it. We might not understand why, but there's something to it.
Well, I've been, like I said, I haven't been doing it long, 2.5 years, and I've come to realize when you start to feel something, it's the spirits telling you what they went through. Like if you start getting a headache in the back of your head, the spirits are telling you that, whatever, it could have been a health, they may have had a hemorrhage in the back of their head and died from that, or they could have, been hit in the back of the head and died from that, or like if you get a pain from anywhere, like in your body, like your trunk area, arms, legs, whatever, to me, that's the spirits telling you that, like, that's what happened to them.
Yeah. I've had things like that happen before. I mean, I do know what you're talking about. So it does sound like you're sensitive in ways to pick that up. I know some people pick up different things. But yeah, that's really, it's pretty wild saying that you've had that happen.
Yeah.
I'm glad it didn't hurt you very much and you're okay. It could have been.
Yeah, I didn't feel it. It wasn't like, they were trying to hurt me. It's just there was a red mark around my neck. So in my theory, in my mind, it was the spirit telling me, that they was hung. That's how they died.
Wow.
And that whole cemetery back in around the World War II era was an all black cemetery.
Yeah. So there's probably been lots of trauma and different things that have happened there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Is there can you think of anything right off, David, that I've just been rambling on here? I didn't mean to take over.
Oh no, you're doing fine.
Usually when he says something, I have another question come to mind, I know one of the places that I've been wanting to go, but I've just been waiting on the litigation issues to get ironed out and things, is Waverly Hills. And I know Sam had mentioned before, well, he would love to investigate there, but I know the pricing there is more than some other places.
Yeah.
But I don't know that maybe if they get that litigation lined out, that might not change a little. I don't know. I don't know if that'll affect it or not. Right. Have you heard anything new about that, David? Because I know about a month ago they said that they thought they were about to come to some kind of resolution about it.
Not as of lately, I haven't.
Okay.
But I've been so tied up, I hadn't really been going through everything.
Yeah.
Like I should be.
David works. He works like all the time. Like, I don't know how he ever gets to ghost hunt. He works at school and he's gone 12, 14 hours at a time working, seems like. And so he's probably like Waverly Hills, what, where?
Right.
So, but if I can get some information on that, though, I'll email you about it, Sam, let you know what they're saying about that being lined out, and maybe let you know if they got new pricing or anything.
Okay.
If ever I go, it would have to be with a group because of the pricing. And so
right. That's what I'm trying to do, is I'm trying to get, because like I said, I'm self-funded. I have limited income. So I try to get together with groups as long as I don't have to drive 8 hours, and then put myself up in a motel somewhere.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
like if
Well,
it's like, I think like Waverly Hills and Octagon Hall and stuff is not, 2, 3, 4 hour drives for me. So
yeah.
Ah, excellent.
Well, what else do you have in your area as far as like you mentioned the penitentiary down there. Do you have other like hospitals or like larger like more things that are pretty commonly investigated by paranormal teams? Do you have other things in your area?
not really. I mean, there is a hospital that's right up from um, the penitentiary, Tennessee State Penitentiary. But I think it's kind of overpriced for what they're wanting to do. But it's as Tennessee is a place where they don't leave stuff abandoned long. If a building becomes vacant, they turn it into something pretty quick. So around me anywhere, there's no abandoned schools, no abandoned hospitals, no abandoned police departments or jails. There is a hospital in another county that I was born in that I tried to get into. There's a guy that up in Indiana that bought it. And he run a Halloween deal out of it for a couple of years, but they won't let nobody near it because of safety issues.
Right.
I think a lot of people too are afraid that people that don't deal with investigations that often and things, I think that there's a fear if they let somebody come in there and investigate it, that if they didn't have activity before, it'll start activity. And they're
Right.
scared of it. And they're scared of it. So they're just like, no, I don't want you in here because I don't want you to, wake anything up or get anything going,
Well, it's not only that, is people don't. It's gotten to the point to where people are trashing places like that instead of respecting them, And when you start trashing places like that, it starts hindering on people's trust with other groups,
Yeah. And seeing that kills it for everybody, and it really hurts because a lot of this, I mean, you're learning about history and helping preserve things and helping with history, heritage, traditions, cultures. I mean, like it's not just ghost hunting; it's really a lot about families and the country and the land itself. And and when people do things like just trash things or even not paying when they're supposed to pay, just any kind of trust that they're breaking. It affects the whole paranormal community, really. And that's sad. That's sad that's happening, but it is. I know it is. So, I know, David, you've got quite a few places down that way, don't you? Close to, I know he's been to, what's the name of it? Devil's Gate.
Hell's
there.
Gate.
Yeah, Hell's Gate or whatever. He's been there a few times lately.
Yeah, I want to go back when it about the end of June or beginning of July when it's nice and green there,
Yeah.
Yeah. It looked like a apocalypse movie set the last time he went. he was sending live stream and it was really I was wanting to watch for ghost activity, but I couldn't because I told David, I said, all I kept thinking he was on these like railroad trestles, wasn't it? Like that they were up really, really high, walk on these old railroad trestles, and they were showing their feet. And all I kept thinking was, he's gonna die. He's gonna die on live cam right here.
Yeah.
He's like, no, that's all right. He wasn't the least bit worried about it. He's like, no, it's fine. I was like, I don't know if you're fine or not. You didn't look fine to me. It looks scary.
No, a lot of different people say a lot of different things about that place, but it's never made me feel uneasy.
Right. Right. Well, that's why I said, I hope to see ghost activity. I was watching it, but like as far as getting usually like when I see a place that is like really active or whatever, even on video, you get that feeling. You can tell, you can tell when it's something is there. You don't know what it is exactly, but you know something. But I don't feel like that place is like really scary. What I've seen of it, it just it looks creepy, but it's not. I don't know that it's like. I think it's one of those places the stories have been built up so much. You know what I mean?
Right.
That it's got it. I don't know. It's like Bobby Mackey's. Have you been to Bobby Mackey's before?
No, I haven't. I want to go really bad.
Well, that's another place I'm going to try to go. So I've been there, but I didn't get to do a full investigation, and I want to go back and do it. But and if I get a group for that, I'll also reach out to you and let you know if you want to try to join in or something.
Yeah, sure.
But I know a lot of people said the scariest part of Bobby Mackey's is the parking lot because they've got like a railroad track down behind it, and there's a lot of
Yeah.
like homeless people and some people that are not all people are
Oh,
rough, but there's some rougher people, and they're saying stay close to the building and come in and stuff. But and the other thing I've heard people say, and I do know this part, is that it's a really old building. And like a lot of the wiring is not the best and stuff,
Right.
and so I think there's some hazards like that people do. But it's been
right.
played at really big on, and I
Yeah.
do think there's activity there. But from trusted people, not just on TV, but the trusted people I know that have gone, it sounds like it's more maybe residual stuff and not as much of a dangerous, because they go on about that portal to hell. There's the well in the basement,
Right.
and there's talk about that. But the people that I know that I feel like I trust what they're telling me. They're saying that wasn't as scary as it's played up to be.
Right.
And I know I had a buddy that he's been there I don't know how many times at the bar. He isn't a ghost hunter. He just goes he's been to the bar. Him and his wife have gone a couple of times, gone with friends, and he complains about the electric and how scary it is. He said one time they were trying to go on the mechanical bull, but the mechanical bull was like, at that time they had a mechanical bull, I don't know if they still do. And he said it was like short circuiting the lights on the stage.
Oh, wow.
Be like a disco.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said that place. He said I don't know how good it's wired at this point. He said I don't know, but I was joking with him. He said there ain't anything there. I said yeah, but I said were you pregnant? Because it's supposed to be the pregnant women get the most activity at Bobby Mackey's where.
Right.
What was it? The one that hung herself, she was pregnant and all that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so I always tease him. I said, it's just because you weren't pregnant. That's what he's like, shut up. Every time he goes, I'm like, that place ain't scary. It's just electrical work scary. I'm like, yeah, but it's because you weren't pregnant. So it's like her ongoing joke.
Oh, mercy.
But yeah. So I don't know. I was trying to think of, are you going to, as far as like, you've recently, are you going to try to travel up north or anywhere this year, or are you just going to try to hang out and do those investigations in near you, you're saying?
I am. There is a place up in Wisconsin that I want to try to save up the money to go. It's going to be a 12-hour road trip for me, one way. And the place is pretty expensive to get into, but the family that lives there, the reason it is because they've got to get a hotel for her and her kids. So that's where that money is going toward.
Ah,
See,
yeah.
I understand that. Like
For
when
a
people
couple
are
of
charging
days,
a lot and there's a reason, I understand that. That's different.
But I can get they told me that they were going to give me a little bit of a discount. So all I really need is the fuel money to get up there, and I don't know how much they're going to discount it, but
Right. Well, that'd be good. I hope you get to go. I'd love to go out west someday, and the motel that The Shining was filmed in.
Oh yeah.
I would love to get to. But now you talk about a large area to cover. You were saying you'd rather do something that would be a huge. They say it's like gigantic when you're there.
Yeah.
But you could probably focus on. I think there's 2 or 3 rooms that primarily had the most activity reportedly. So you probably would just have to focus on certain rooms, I would say, if you want to do it.
That's like the what is that, the Queen Mary out there in California?
Oh yeah.
It's supposed to be kind of haunted, and they've got one big room, well, not big, but one room where the I think the lady had died in or whatnot. It's supposed to be, pretty active.
Yeah. I know someplace fairly close that I keep wanting to get, and I have seen them advertise doing like the overnight tours before, but it's been a while, and I don't think it's something they do on the regular basis. They just do it sometimes.
Yeah.
Is Boone Tavern down at Berea, Kentucky, and that wouldn't be terribly far for you. And it's not a big place, but it's like a restaurant and a bar and a restaurant and a motel part, and they are right there on Berea campus. But it's supposed to have a lot of activity. And that's only about 3 hours for me, I guess. And it probably would be about 4 or 5 for you, Sam, I'd say.
Yeah, probably.
But I mean, do you want me just to message you anytime I'm going anywhere, and then you can see if you want to join in?
Yeah, sure. I mean,
Okay.
I've got a car that's really good on gas mileage because I could take and drive out to North Carolina, which is an 8-hour drive on right at a full tank of gas.
Well, that's great. Yeah, that's
So,
great.
that's 433 miles.
Especially right now, because
Yeah.
prices of things are crazy.
Yeah. But yeah, anywhere up around Kentucky, because it's, like I said, it's like, I think Octagon Hall is like right at 2 hours and 45 minutes, right at 3 hours for me. So,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know,
That's what I was gonna say. It's probably not, real far for you. So I'll let you know anytime I'm going somewhere or something. Like I said,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
always welcome. You know that.
yeah.
Um, do you, as far as you said you didn't have anything much scheduled other than maybe like a home investigation, which those are great, David. Those are. But is there any place you're wanting to go this year other than I know? Oh, that's something we could bring up. I meant to tell you because I don't know if I've told Sam about. Do you want to tell him about New Orleans and what's going
Oh,
on
Fear
there?
Fest in
Yeah, he doesn't
October
know
this
about
year.
it. I don't think I haven't got to tell him about it.
Yeah, Spear Fest in New Orleans in
Wow.
October this year. It'll be a 3-day event, but it's basically Mardi Gras for the paranormal,
Yeah.
and it's gonna be huge.
See, I've been wanting to get down around the New Orleans area, the French Quarter, and hit those cemeteries up. There.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
you ought to try to, if you can, save up between now and October and go to it because what they're going to do, they're going to have all kinds of like speakers. They're going to have concerts each night. They've got, I think they're going to they're going to try to have like a voodoo ceremony and let you be able to watch that. And they're going to have like
right.
different events. It's supposed to be a really
The
cool,
vampire
special. Yeah,
person is going to be there.
yeah. So I mean, and they're going to be doing some investigations as well. So you'll get to go and you could sign up and do different things, while you're in the area.
Yeah.
But I'll send you the link for it, and you can read up on it. They don't have tickets for sale yet. At least they didn't last time I looked. They haven't changed that yet, have they, David? Or do you know?
I hadn't heard on it.
Yeah, I don't think they actually have the tickets for sale yet. But what it was, they're looking at some major motels there that they're going to have the convention at, and
Right.
I think they were trying to lock in all the details of the package price and stuff and price points before they, advertised it.
Right.
So I'll send you the link though to the. They've got like a page you can follow, and that's where they put updates, and so you'll be able to join. If you wanted to go to that, you could. But I'm going to try my best to go this year, and I know David's trying his best to go, and that's we're really looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm going too, but I'm afraid of jinxing myself and saying that, and then like,
Right, right.
so I don't want to like throw any bad luck that way because I'm planning on it definitely going.
Right.
And let's not forget about the global ghost hunt.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. I sent you a link on that. It wasn't all about it, but I sent him, that new post they did with all their sites and who was hunting at what sites and dates and things.
Right, and you can still got time to get in that,
Yeah,
and you won't even have to leave your town.
yeah,
You
you
to
can do that.
participate in it.
Yeah, like David said, like he could pick any place in his town and do an investigation. And what it's to do, they're trying to support for us to support each other, all the community, the paranormal community. So
Right.
like, say right now, you don't have maybe it's some really big worldwide teams that would be broadcasting your investigation. Correct, David? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong.
Uh-huh.
But to increase your like viewership and get followers and to really help you to get out there. You know what I mean?
Right.
So because it's like and they've just branched out into like other countries with the P3 family, and they're trying to really expand and get viewership far away from even where we're at, and that way if people do travel or something, they can like meet up and help each other investigate together. But yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to think of the closest. Can you think of what would be closest to him in Tennessee that already has a investigation book? Because I can't think right off of what it would be.
It's not coming up to mind, but I'm sure if you go on the site, it'll show a list.
Yeah. And you can also, they said you can contact them, like some of the guys that are on that site, and tell them, here's where I'm at, and I'd like to investigate with somebody, and they would help hook you up with the team or something if you didn't want to go by yourself or do a home in your area. But you can do it just in your county and tell them, say, I'm going to be investigating on that day here in my county, and this is the place I'm going to do the show.
Yeah.
And then they would broadcast it for you, and they would advertise. They're going to do the advertising for people. They're going to make the announcements. Like they're going to do a lot of work for you, really, and help and promote it. And
that would be cool.
yeah, and you get to meet a lot of people, and I mean it sounds like a great opportunity for everybody. It's like a win-win situation. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you really need to check that out. What I sent you on email yesterday was just it had like some clips of the different sites and what team was investigating where.
Right.
But I'll try to send you the link for the actual page so you can go and read more about it.
Okay.
Because I might have butchered explaining that. I don't know if I did or not. But David, you can tell me more about it too if you think of anything else.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to calm down, Junior. The boys just come in the door.
Oh, you're fine. I've got a pug and a German Shepherd here trying to kill each other while I'm on here, so I understand. I've been trying to clean. If you see me muting it every little bit and like getting off camera, it's because I'm yelling at dogs.
Okay.
Which, if you've ever seen a German Shepherd and a pug fight, it's kind of funny because the pug's tiny.
Oh, look at that little one right there.
Oh, how cute! Look at that. Is he a retriever or is he what kind of dog is he?
Chihuahua and something.
I can see the Chihuahua face.
Yeah, he looks like he might be part Chihuahua, part retriever or something. Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know because you can definitely tell the Chihuahua part, but he had something in there. I could tell. I wasn't sure which. But I love.
He's a pretty good old boy.
He seems like a really good dog. So your dog's being good. You're not having to yell at it. You're just having to yell at kids or whatever. I'm having to. My kids are being good. My kids are being good, but my dogs aren't. So,
right.
Except for my oldest. I know my oldest has been in here twice giving me the evil eye because it's Super Bowl Sunday and he's wanting all the food cooked. I know that's what it is. He hasn't said it because I dared him to speak while I was online. But he keeps coming in here and just like looking at me, going back down the hall. And he's like, "You aren't cooking yet."
Where's the food at?
Yeah. But it's just like nachos and stuff. I can get it done in like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'd be great.
Who y'all wanting to win tonight?
Man, I ain't kept up with football in so long. I don't even know who's playing.
I don't care anything about sports myself. I don't. But for some reason, when it's the Super Bowl night, they want to watch it. Even if we don't watch every other game, they want to watch the Super Bowl. So these kids are going to be watching that tonight. We've got, I think, it's the Chiefs and the I can't remember the other team. Isn't that awful? I don't know. I guess if that was,
I'm right there with you. I don't even know. I didn't even know when the Super Bowl was even being played.
I want to say Chiefs and Patriots, but I'm afraid I'm wrong. I don't know for sure. But I don't know. I'm glad it's not one of those lottery questions. They call you and ask you that one question and you get $1 million. I wouldn't get it, and I never forgive myself. But
oh, look at that.
My boys are out of it.
What is that?
It's Cowboys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. One of those lights.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, cool. Where'd you get that?
It'll do 1 star, or they'll move around. It's got like 3 or 4 different functions.
Where'd you get that at?
I think my wife actually got it on Amazon. That's her team.
Well, cool. Well, then who's your team, if that's her team?
I always like the Redskins, if you can call them that now.
So do you and Brooke fight when they're playing each other?
Oh, no. She watches more of it than I do, to be honest.
No, so it's not worth a fight to you then. You're just going to let it go.
Oh, no. There's enough other stuff to squabble over than football.
Hey, I'm going to tell you, some people, you don't believe people that fight bad over football.
Yeah.
I don't either. It's not worth it to me either. I know there's that one mom that has a boy on both teams tonight. She has a son. It's the first time in history. She's got a son that plays on each of the teams in the Super Bowl night. So, one of her boys is going to win regardless, and one of her boys is going to lose regardless. Yeah. And they had a picture of one of the magazines. She had her shirt was like half one team and half the other. I thought that was neat. But as a parent, I can't imagine. Can you? Talk about being stressed out.
Yeah.
Right. Well, let me ask you this, Sam. what do you not hold very credible or whatever out there? Like, to me, it would be seances.
Yeah.
You know,
I don't
I'd have
really
to really know
believe.
the people.
Yeah, I don't. There's a lot of that stuff that people could very easily fake. Um, and that goes as, and not only seances or palm readings and stuff like that, but that goes as far as YouTube investigators as well. Because, and I'll give you an instance. They were playing Brushy Mountain State Penitentiary up like it was the most haunted place on earth. But when I went there last April, I had found strings and stuff where people were actually made stuff move.
Oh, staging it. Yeah.
Yeah, staging stuff. So
Well, a lot of people do that, and they'll do it with fishing line, just everything in the world, and all that does is makes it harder to get people to believe when you actually do have evidence. So
yeah,
it makes me upset when people do that. I don't really understand. And as far as seances, you could, like, people can just be full of it, for lack of a better word.
right,
but
right.
But I think it depends on who's doing it, and I say that because I know some people that have gotten really, really credible information that they could not have known any other way,
Right.
things like that, and that people that I trust in that I know very, very well that have done that, and I kind of okay when they tell me something. But it would have to be coming from somebody I trusted and had known for a very long time. I couldn't just go with somebody for the first time and then do something like that and me full-heartedly believe it,
Well, I mean, you got to think the interwebs is a big world out there, and these people that do these seances, they will get on the interwebs and look up stuff about, like, say, if I wanted to go find something out, if my mother wanted to try to talk to me or something in the afterlife, they would actually, go on the interwebs and search something up about my mother and something that I wouldn't think that they would know. And then when I went, they would tell me something, and I'm like,
Yeah.
So
Right. Just by doing a people search,
exactly. I mean, it's like you said, David and Ashley. It's got to be somebody you have known and trusted for a very long time.
Yeah. And that's like these people that are on TV and things. And yeah, when I asked you earlier, you were saying who, can't remember who was it you said that you watched that got you interested in it. What's his name again?
Oh my gosh.
Omar. Yeah, because I've heard different reviews even of people what they had to say about him. I'm not familiar with him. I'm really not at all. And I know one of the things that like the P3 family and these groups that we're really trying to do is to not promote what they call people that they think that appear to be faking videos and stuff, because it hurts. Like if you had some real evidence, Sam, if like a voice recording and things, and somebody say, they would be less likely to believe it if somebody had faked something last week. You know what I mean? Yeah, and so my problem is somebody new to this, and I'm just something that I struggle with is knowing who, some things you can tell flat out that's fake. You can watch on YouTube, like you said, and you can tell. I see the string, or whatever.
Yeah.
But some of it is really well done. And it's very hard, and the community will say, or you'll hear mixed reviews, and like part of the community is supporting somebody, and then part of them they'll say no, they're fake. It's just very hard to know what to believe and what not to believe. That's just for me, and I don't want to be intentionally sharing or promoting something that's not legit. But like I don't really know at this point what's legit and what's not. Does it? I don't know if anybody else is feeling that way. I think most of the people that are on. And a lot of the groups have been there for a really long time, and they kind of have their opinions set on certain people, but I don't. I'm still trying to learn,
Right. Going back to evidence, when you have people that catch stuff like apparitions, like constantly on a basis, I mean, it's like every time they go, they're catching an apparition. I don't really think, I mean, sometimes it may be, real, but I mean,
yeah, I think that's probably a red flag. I get that.
I have seen one apparition with my own eyes one time, and I'm fixing to show you a picture that I caught at a cemetery. Actually, it's a graveyard because there's a church on the property that I caught. It was two apparitions, and I will show you the picture of that right here.
trying to see it there.
Oh wow.
You can't
Now,
really make out
I
the
enhanced that, the negative of it, because in the original video, all you can see is this older woman over here. All you can see is her head in the
so
original
is
video.
that woman to the left? That's you in the forefront, right? And then is that
No,
one of the
there was nobody in front of me. I took that picture in total darkness, no light, except it was a full moon that light. I
because
took
that
the
looks like
negative.
it looks like there's two
Wow.
people in that picture.
I took that negative and enhanced the photo to where it brightened it up, and that's what showed up.
Wow.
Like I said, in the original photo, all you can see is that woman. And if I can find it real quick without taking too much time up.
No. You take
So
your time. We're not in a hurry, and it's
Yeah.
and it's like you're fine. If I was tech savvy, which I hopefully will be at some point, but I would tell you to send it to me and I'd share it on screen. But right now I'm like looking, I don't even know how I would do that right now. And we're hoping that by I've been asking some questions to some people, David, and I'm hoping that our 2 shows coming up this week will be live streamed, and we'll have actually be able to have them live, not posted later, recorded like we're doing right now, but have them live where we can have audience conversation like we were wanting to do. I think I figured it out. I've been talking and working with somebody. I think I might have figured it out.
Okay, here's the original. Here's the original photo. No light, no enhancing. That's the apparition right there.
I can see it looks fuzzier
Wow.
there. It almost looks like it'd be. I always thought that was like a dog or something. The way I could see it through here, but it looks just like a woman.
Yeah.
When you showed it that first time enhanced,
Yeah.
Where was that at? That one?
It is St. Barnabas Church in North Carolina.
Okay. That's crazy. It's crazy.
There's another one where I'm not sure exactly what this was, but you can see a face. Let me see if I can find it real quick here. Because see, that's what I like doing. I like taking photos, especially at night, and seeing if I've caught anything there. But here is, I'm not sure what that is, but you can see a face clearly coming out of that window, right beside the window.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that looks like a face. Was there anybody there, maybe? Or?
No, And then around it, it looks like maybe some orbs was trying to show up.
Wow. So was that inside the house, or where was that exactly?
That's outside the church.
That's the same place?
That's the same place.
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. That's really wild.
That's awesome.
I have that, like I said, 2.5 years. I've caught one apparition with my eyeballs, and that one in the photo.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people that are wanting to go back to the old Polaroid. You know how you snap a picture and it comes out of the
I've got one of those.
The Instax. There are a lot of people that are going back to those types of photos because the digitalization of your phone cameras and your regular cameras will not pick up. So a lot of people are dragging out their old photos that they took when they were younger, with Polaroids and looking at them to see if they caught anything or not.
And you can't doctor that,
Yeah. It's true. I've still got some of those Polaroid, but now the film form's like $25 a little box. So,
well, you know what's funny? Fuji started coming back out with those cameras, and you could buy one at Walmart for $35, but now they're going up because so many people are acquiring them now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they are more than that because my son actually looked at them at Walmart like a week or two ago because I said, "Why do you want that?" I said, "I've got one of those. I'll let you use it," because I think it was 40 something or $50, and I thought that was outrageous. And the film, I mean, I'm talking, it's only like 8 or 12. It's not a lot of pictures per box.
Right.
And it's like $25, I think, a box of film. And like, I just can't, when my copay on some of these hunts is gonna be like $50 for my part to get in. I can't really justify paying $12 for 8 pictures, you know.
Right.
So, but yeah, I mean, it makes you wonder if maybe there isn't something to it though with them showing up more. Maybe.
Yeah.
I could see that. I didn't realize people were doing that, but that makes sense.
Yeah, a lot. I mean, it's something about your phones and your regular cameras that are filtering out your actual what is there in the picture. So
Yeah.
a lot of people are going to Polaroids now because there's nothing there to, what's there is there,
Yeah, you can't fake that as easily.
Exactly.
Yeah. So okay, well, I can't think. I was trying to think if there's anything else. How do you feel about, you mentioned about seances? How do you feel about like pendulums and things like divination, like things like that? Do you think that's very credible?
I've done some research on the Ouija board and the pendulums and stuff, and people are like, well, I don't like Ouija boards because you can conjure up a demon and blah blah blah. Well, here's the thing: the research that I've done, your Ouija boards and your pendulums, you're only communicating with spirits that are on this side of the realm, right? You can't use a Ouija board and conjure something that's on the other side. You're only communicating with what's here around you on Earth. I mean, you can't, I want to conjure up Sozo or another demon. It's not going to happen. You're only communicating. It's just another form of communication. Now, can you get in trouble using that? Yeah, because there are spirits here on this side of the realm that are very angry, because I believe the way you are in your physical form is how you're going to be in your spiritual form.
Right.
So if you die an angry person, you're going to be an angry person in spirit. Or if you died of violent death and it made you angry, then that you're going to be angry.
I mean, that's logical.
Yeah, I agree with that people are the same in death as they were, in life. But I don't know though about the whole whether or not you can conjure something up. The jury's still out on that with me. I'm not sure, but I'm not terrified of Ouija boards like some people are. I do think they're just another tool.
Exactly.
And I do think that if you know how to properly use them and close them and things, and do protections, you should be okay.
Yeah.
And that's just my take on it.
Here's the thing too. People talking about attachments. Well, if you are strong in your faith, no matter what you believe in, if you believe in, Odin is the All Father, or if you believe in the God and Jesus Christ, no matter what your belief is, as long as you hold strong in your faith, nothing will attach to you.
There you go.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot to be said for that. There definitely is, and I think that everybody has to figure out what works best for them. And I do think that if somebody says I'm scared of this or that, whether it be pendulums or Ouija boards or whatever, I think if they are bothered by it, they shouldn't do it. I think everybody should have their own boundaries, and it's fine. That's fine. If you might want to do something I don't, and vice versa, and that's okay. I mean, I think as long as everybody kind of respects that, and I think there's probably a reason. Like it might not be something that's dangerous for you, but it might be for me. You know what I mean?
Right. Well, here's the thing: you've got your apps like your Necrophonics and your Spirit Talker apps and this that. They are the same thing as the Ouija board and a pendulum. If you're not using it properly, you will get yourself in some trouble.
Which one of those apps do you like the best? That's another question. You mentioned that. Which one do you think's the best?
Right now, I am kind of enjoying apps that do not have a word bank in them. Like your Necrophonics has a word bank.
Right.
Regular GhostTube has a word bank, but their GhostTube Vox does not have a word bank. The Miracle Box does not have a word bank. So anything that you hear word wise, clear as day, like if I'm using the GhostTube Vox, right, it doesn't have a word bank. If it's rambling or whatever, and all of a sudden it says Ashley, I'm going to believe that because there's no word bank in there that's got that name in it.
That makes sense. I see. All the ones I've ever seen downloaded or somebody using do have the word bank. So I didn't even realize there were ones out there without the word bank. I
Yeah.
did. Did you know that? You probably did, David. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I like those two,
Yeah.
especially the SOS on there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's the same way as using the SB7, right? The SB7 is set up and designed to run at a fast rate. So, you know, it's
Right.
not going to pick up like say your news, and it's going to say, yeah, well, today in news, you know, it's running at a fast rate and running through channels so fast that when you hear something that comes out that says, "Am I dead?" or "How are you?" then you know that it's actually a spirit manipulating that wave pattern, that sweep on that SB7.
Yeah.
Correct. I mean, I have the necrophonics too, but I hadn't used it in a while.
I'm getting kind of away from it because I mean, when necrophonics first come out, it blew up, right? Everybody started using it, you know, and when you use it enough, like I have, you start hearing a lot of repeat words.
Mm. Yeah, you got to know what to look for. You know?
Yeah, you got to have an ear for what you're like. Say if I'm sitting at like the witch's grave, for instance, and I'm like, Melissa, is there something that you want to? Is there something that you want to tell me? You know, you've got to train your ear to listen for that answer. You know, a lot of people when they hear like hell or demon or something like that come out of it, they're like, oh, you know, no, that's not what you was you know, that's not what you was asking the spirit or what you was talking about.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna have to mess around and experiment some more with those apps because I've only downloaded like 2, so I might go back and like delete what I've got and try something different and see what comes up. That's interesting.
Yeah. The miracle box is something unique because as investigators and your more experienced investigators, the miracle box plays stuff backwards, right? So if it's so that when the spirit manipulates that tone, it will come out right.
Mm. Okay. Okay. It's pretty awesome. Well, let me see here. It's going on like an hour. Do you have anything else you want to ask Sam, Dave? Can you think of anything else, David?
No, that's good. Besides, if he'd want to come back sometime, join us.
Man, I would love it. You know, this was awesome.
It's really
pleasure
fun
having
when
you,
we
buddy.
just like getting on here and talking and like Dave and I, we've been having a really good time interviewing with people, and I appreciate you coming on here, Sam. I really, really do. It's been great.
It was my honor. You know, I'm glad to be up here.
Well, and we'll promote. I put a link to Tennessee Paranormal, Sam, on the Hanks and Hollers page, and once we get, hopefully by this week, we'll have more on the YouTube channel as well. So I'll have a link there as well and help promote you there too. Okay.
Sweet. I appreciate it.
But if nobody has any other question, anything else you want to talk about tonight, I guess we'll close out. It's been great, guys.
All right.
Give up hope. You're not
all.
alone.
Thank you all. Have a good night. Okay. Have a good Super Bowl.
Night, everybody.
Bye-bye.